Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're live. We're on Magic or Science podcast, and I'm actually here with Coach Nar. We had this amazing discussion off air, and we're just talking about life, how people could better themselves, a lot of things about reprogramming. Nar is very in tuned with herself, and I feel like when you're in a really good place in life and you have things, you definitely want to turn around and just help other people. Ja?
Yes, for sure. And if I feel, if I could compare it to one thing, is recently I've come to the understanding that I don't want to be the Pharisee that Jesus was talking about in the parables, where, it's not about religion, it's not about anything, it's about understanding the philosophy. Jesus was condemning, not condemning, Jesus was against the Pharisees for not spreading the knowledge, not spreading the truth. He he did not agree with their tactics about withholding the information just so they could feel more superior than the people that they were supposed to be serving. So if I came across the knowledge and the light and the truth and I decide not to share it, then I'm no better than the Pharisees that Jesus was speaking about. And so I don't want to be that person. I want to share all my wealth of knowledge with everyone who is willing to accept it.
Cool, nice. Well, since you're a coach, we can't really classify you as a certain type of coach. I would say you just help people better themselves.
Yeah, personal development coach.
Personal development
Yeah,
coach.
yeah,
One of the main things on your website I found was shift your perspective. Can
yes.
you tell me a little more about that?
It's all about shifting perspective. You are stuck in a perspective and you don't know how to shift out of it. Because if you think about it, we are all in a program, we're all in a specific program. And the only way to get out of that program is to submit to another program. So if you're stuck in a perspective that you need to shift out of, but you don't know how to, then you are obligated to yourself to figure out how to shift out of it, that you are stuck. At least you're stuck. And if you don't know how to do it, then you have to employ other people to do it. You have to, because that is your personal responsibility as a human being, to be able to take care of yourself in the way that you can. So that way you don't become a burden on yourself, on society, on the people who you're supposed to be serving, the people who love you. This is about personal responsibility, your personal development. It's not about anybody else, it's about you yourself, but in relation to the surrounding
Yeah,
environment.
yeah. Always ask for help, right?
Yeah,
We were just talking about that. How
yeah,
you're like, how did you get started with this podcast? And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm like the top seller in my company
yes,
out in Utah, and I actually went to a like self development coach because I was like, hey, I just want to be better, man. Can you please help me? It's like I want to be the best. Like, if you're not gonna go all the way, why go at all? Like, even though you're good, you always want to have a like a mindset where you just want to help other people. And hey, you know when you get good, you just want to turn around and help other people, like you.
yes, yes. And that's why you're doing Magic or Science
Yeah,
podcast, because you want to share the knowledge, and not just your knowledge, but the knowledge of other people who you come across, who you feel are giving value,
yeah.
you know?
I agree with that 100%. Um, I feel like people that are stuck in certain places in life, and it's really uncomfortable for them to change. What advice do you have for these people? Like, I mean, first they should reach out to you. I agree. Um, what else can they do? What advice do you give them when they reach out to you?
So it's not a matter of me giving advice, because, like, what advice? It's
Yeah,
we have to analyze and observe and accept. So there's a process that happens when you reach out to someone for help. If I just start throwing advice your way, you're gonna not take it because I don't know what's going on with you personally per se. Uh, I mean, you tell me, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is happening, and if I say, oh, well, I did this, you're not gonna understand why I did that. I have to go through the process of why you feel the way you do about the certain topic that is concerning you. So we got to dive deep into why that triggers you, why this is happening with you. And then the advice would be to work on yourself and dig deep. Keep digging. Keep digging, Holmes.
yeah. You said awareness, right?
Yeah,
Earlier,
yeah.
like you have to be aware there's something going on. You can start changing it. One thing about your website that actually stood out to me is you said insecurities woven into the fabric of our souls.
Yeah,
That's deep. Can you
yes.
elaborate on that?
Insecurities are, by the way, I don't know if you want to come forward for,
Yeah, I'll come. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Let's do it.
just so
Hey, everyone.
insecurities, okay, they're fears. They're fears that we've accepted to be true. So, one example I can give as an insecurity is, for example, public speaking. People have a deathly fear of going out and standing in front of people speaking because of why? Judgment.
Yeah, I guess it is judgment. Yeah.
Because of why? Because self doubt. Why do you have self doubt? Because somebody said you're stupid when you were a kid.
Sadly, it was probably your parents.
Yeah,
It probably was your
yeah.
parents or like your teacher, someone that should have like uplifted you.
And sadly, those parents were also called probably stupid by their parents.
Hmm.
And the vicious cycle continues until one generation figures this out. Like, hey, I recognize a pattern.
Yeah.
Maybe I should think about like switching it and then become the black sheep, right? The
And
black sheep.
that's what happened to me with drinking.
Tell me about it.
So I was at a well, I mean, ever since I was young, I would drink, and it's totally okay. I started drinking when I was 15. Consistently, I'm Armenian, so I have that culture. Yeah, Soviet Union. My dad would drink a lot. My grandparents,
Yeah.
my cousins, my relatives, everybody, my
It was a
friends.
pastime.
Yeah, it was just acceptable to have like 2, 3 drinks for lunch, and like a shots, and that's totally acceptable. If you didn't drink, you're like gay or there's something wrong with you. You're weak,
Yeah.
things like that. But like when I moved out and I left and I started doing more self awareness or mindfulness, I realized, well, I don't know if it's just such a good thing to drink so much. It's really not.
Yeah.
And I cut back a little bit, but like I was always in that environment, and I went to a meditation retreat, and I realized I'm like, dude, if I don't stop this, the next generation is going to start drinking just like me, because you're passing
Yep.
down your genes, you're passing down your feelings, your emotions to
The
someone else,
trauma.
the trauma too. So I was like, you know what? I just made a conscious choice.
Yep.
Well, actually, I made an unconscious choice, which caused me to make a conscious choice that I'm going to cut out alcohol and just substances from my life permanently. And it's been like 9 months I haven't drank.
9 months,
Yeah,
no drink.
no drink, not even one. And when I go to like events, like yeah, they pour my cup, like I might put my lips on it, but I don't drink it.
Okay, tell me about why you put the act together for the lip.
They're like, oh, but this, I'm like, just do it for show and stuff like that. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I actually read about this stuff,
Yes.
and I'm like, you know why we're even doing this? I'm like, we're actually blessing it.
Okay.
So you don't have to be a priest. Like you just with your energy and your
Okay.
source, your electromagnetic field, you're blessing that alcohol.
Okay.
Or and
By
you
cheersing.
by cheersing it.
Okay.
Like when someone gets up and stands up and does a cheer, they're literally blessing it. They're sending positive energy. It's
Well,
an intention. They're sending an intention.
genots
Yeah.
is like for life, right? That's the translation in Armenian. And I could be butchering it. I don't know, but I think that it means to life.
Yeah. But what it literally
Gentani linelu hamar. Genots.
but the process of it is you are setting an intention.
Yeah.
I want
Okay.
to drink to the bride and groom for them to be healthy. You're setting an intention, a positive intention. You don't need to have alcohol for this.
Yeah.
Technically, you don't need to have any
Could be
food.
water.
It could be water. Yeah. And there's studies when you have water and you think of positive things, the chemicals in there change. And this is the science of it. Or if you think of something negative, the chemicals get worse. So you could take dirty water, and if you have your hands around it or just the process of thought, you could change that water and make it clean.
What's more dirtier than water that is alcohol?
I don't know, some water with alcohol with radiation. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's the point. The whole point is you're setting an intention. And I'm like, dude, like I just do it because I just don't want to get into this conversation with someone that's half drunk
Yeah.
for 45 minutes.
I understand.
But I just do it, and I'm like, hey, like I'm just doing it because just I'm doing it with my heart.
Okay.
Like I'm saying, like I'm drinking with my heart
Yeah.
with you, and they're like, usually they're fine. Now, like 10 years ago, I think there would have been a problem. Maybe we start a fight because people are ignorant. But now I feel like more and more people are waking up and
I
realize,
think more and more people are realizing they have a problem.
yeah, but they don't want to acknowledge that. They're like, okay, this guy doesn't want to drink. At least we can respect him.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't take your ideology, drag it down my throat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
won't do the same to you. So that's why I just go along with it. But I don't drink. I don't drink.
Okay. That's respectable, and that's your stance, and
Yeah.
no one should ever have any kind of influence on it other than you yourself.
They shouldn't, but it's become like issues like, why come you're not drinking? Why are you being disrespectful? I'm like, I'm not, dude. I'm here.
That's a weird concept, right? The idea that you're being disrespectful because you choose not to
Poison my
poison
body.
your body.
Yeah.
It's
Like, how dare you try to stay healthy when we're all unhealthy and we're in this toxic environment.
It's the idea of shared trauma.
Yeah.
How dare you break away from the trauma?
Well, it's literally like being a crab in a bucket. Even my childhood friends, because they're all here and I moved out of state,
Yeah.
and like I'm in different environment, different culture, and I stopped drinking. And I told them, I was like, hey, dude, like I stopped drinking, and they're like, what do you mean, bro? What's wrong with you?
Mm.
They're like, you have to drink at an event. Like someone has a kid, like your sister, aren't you doing it? I'm like, no, bro. I'm like, doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could have as much fun, if not more, without drinking.
So because they are not able to tap into that joy naturally, they need to block the pain through chemical,
Yeah.
I guess
Substances.
substitution.
Yeah.
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 And I'm not judging that, by the way. I'm not judging that at all because of all the other things that we use to substitute our negative feelings, to substitute or for escapism. This
Right.
is all escapism.
So to go out and have a beer with your friends, it's totally cool. You
Yeah.
go out to the beach, it's nice. You have a couple, but on the other side of the spectrum, when you're sitting there drinking 5, 6, 8, 12 shots to drown your problems
Yeah.
and forget about it for that night, is not helping anyone. If anything, it's sending you back a step, because you should actually acknowledge that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't want to, so you
Yeah.
try to block it out. And I see this a lot with a lot of successful people, especially Armenian people, that are very hardworking, but they have these issues that they don't want to confront. Maybe social issues, health issues, so they just drown it out.
So I recently created a group, men's coaching group, online right now, and I'm garnering, interest.
Yeah.
And a gentleman sent me a message saying, "So what exactly are you going to coach us on?" And I said, "I'm going to help you understand yourselves better." And he said, That's a long shot because no Armenian man is going to come sit in a group coaching circle and talk about their
I
feelings in
would.
front of other Armenian men."
I'll
And
jump in.
yeah, yeah, and I'm sure they will because if you build it, they will come. Where is there an Armenian male coaching group?
There isn't. I actually lived for it a couple years ago because I still want to quit drinking. There's a AA one
Yeah,
for in Glendale.
but no one wants to go to AA and
Yeah, they
admit that
don't,
they're an
dude.
alcoholic.
Yeah, there's like 6 people. They were Armenian, and they're like their grandparents came here, so they're pretty much like whitewashed.
Yeah,
But there's like other AA meetings you go to. I haven't really been to too many, but there's like 50 people, 60 people, and I'd be like, dude, there's something wrong with that picture.
yeah,
I feel like we still have that Soviet Union. You have to be macho. You cannot smile.
yeah.
Smiling is frowned upon. It is because
That's funny.
but this is what I learned from a lot of motivational speakers. They're like, dude, if you want people to smile at you, start by smiling at them,
Yeah,
and they'll smile more at you.
for sure.
And that's a good thing. And the more you smile, the happier you're gonna be in life. But like if I smile at people and they just look at me like I'm weird or something like that, that's their problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, but other people just smile right back at me.
everyone smiles back.
Yeah,
I've never had smiled at someone and they've like snarled at me or something, or
right,
turned their face, or
right.
yeah,
But that person, look at their perspective. They need to shift their perspective. If they're thinking from a negative perspective, let's just say they're in a third world country
yeah,
and they're like everyone's bad, everyone's pissed off. They're just gonna frown, and then it's
hmm
gonna cause a chain reaction for other people to frown.
yeah,
But it just
yeah.
takes one person to smile. Maybe you'll just change someone's day.
I passed by this Armenian man who was staring at me as I'm walking, and my initial reaction was like, smile at this guy.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're just staring at my face, like, "Argh." I'm like, all right, smile at this guy. So I smiled and I said, "This," and like his entire facial expression, like, he just washed away, like, there was peace on his face. He was like, "Oh my God, she's not going to cuss me out." And I could say hi to this person and nobody got hurt, and I
Yeah.
passed by and he felt good. I felt good. It wasn't a bad interaction. And, women, if you're watching, you don't need to be afraid of saying hello to people who are looking at your direction. Everyone is trying to make a connection, people. Everyone wants to connect with someone. And they don't know how they're doing it. And people don't have the social cues. People don't have the, like the guidance,
Yeah.
what I understood. So maybe we can help guide each other instead of like constantly worrying about, nothingness. It's nothing. You're worrying about nothing. You're worrying about nothing. It's all up here. Everybody's in here.
Mhm.
And we need to really learn how to break free from our mental prisons. And I like Kanye West's lyric in one of the songs. He said, could have freed more only if they knew that they were slaves.
Yeah. It's like being trapped in the matrix. You
Yes.
don't even know you're in the matrix.
No.
Yeah. And then maybe you do some psychedelics like ayahuasca, and
Mm.
then you see behind the veil, and then you're like, holy shit, the fuck am I doing with my life?
The veil is lifted indefinitely after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people can't handle it when they're older because they're technically they are trapped in the system.
Yeah.
Like on my podcast, I talked to a lot of doctors,
Mm-hmm.
and there's scientific evidence that proves that people have like fields, energy fields, and stuff like that. But when I talk to these people, like bioelectric fields or bioenergy fields, they're like, nah, this stuff doesn't exist or stuff because they have scientific evidence that they've worked on for 30 years that now that's being proven that's wrong, and
Mm-hmm.
they don't their ideologies into that, their research and their grants, and that's how they've been paid. So they just refuse to acknowledge that stuff. It's bad.
They refuse to acknowledge it, or they're coerced, or bribed, or convinced, or
All of that stuff,
told
all of that stuff,
not to
all of that
acknowledge
stuff.
it.
It's in their self,
Yeah.
their ego. So if they say, okay, I was wrong, that means their whole life work was wrong, which is being proven more and more. Like right now, there's this thing called the Newtonian law, cause
Yeah.
and effect,
Yeah.
but that's going out the window.
Yeah.
Now it's quantum model, which is you're the one causing the effect.
Okay.
You can change the world around you. You can bring positive things in you when you say positive things to yourself. Or if you're a negative person,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I'm stupid, I'm slow. You bring
More
those stuff happen to you.
stupidity
Yeah,
and
but you're the one
slowness.
causing it.
100%.
Yeah.
You are, and I put that in the first chapter, you are 100% uh, the reason why you would fall into demise, actually, or rise to the tops, or stay exactly where you are, and no one else but you. You can blame God, you can
Yeah.
blame your mother, you can blame your father, you can blame every single human being on the planet. But the truth is, you have refused to come out of victimhood. You refuse to come out of, I'm a victim. Pretty much, you've
Yeah, don't have
that.
that mindset.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
have that mindset.
There's no growth mindset, like you
There,
said
yeah, there's no growth mindset. It's
earlier.
okay to acknowledge that those things happen to you. Not that it's
Yes,
okay it happened to you, but the fact that it's happened to you, it's okay. Like it's happened to you. You can't go back and change the past, but you can change the present moment and you can change the future.
yes,
You just think differently. Like in your book, the boss of me. You are the boss of you.
yeah.
You're your own boss. Your mind is in charge of your body. Don't let your body be in charge of your mind.
And by the way, no, I would like to clear that up. They're all different entities. Your body, your mind, your spirit, they are all in one, but they are separate. And your body can be the boss of your mind when it needs to be, because your body tells you certain things
yeah,
that your mind is otherwise convoluted with information
that's true too.
with. So like when you listen and become in tune with your body and let the body be the boss for that second, then you got to listen to it, because that there's different, you're physically here in this matter, but your mind is not physically in this matter. It's
Yeah,
intangible. So sometimes you got to let your mind take control, take the wheel, and then sometimes all the times you let your spirit run this, because your spirit guides you, and your mind and body work in cohesion with your spirit.
yeah, I agree. And you know, there's a thing called spiritual intelligence. I didn't even know about this until this week. I
Yeah.
figured it out. There's intelligence, there's emotional intelligence, and then there's spiritual intelligence. People that
Sure.
are like more spiritual, and
The
they have like a
trifecta.
yeah, yeah. I didn't even know about that until earlier this week. I was reading about it. They're like, huh, people that are just more in tune to themselves, more empathetic towards others,
Yeah.
more in tune to the universe. They're
Yes.
more spiritual. Like they have higher intelligence in that perspective.
So my son recently got Student of the Month for, and the trait he got awarded for was compassion.
Nice,
And I love that the school did that. It's a homeschool pods we have.
awesome.
And that's the beauty of having homeschool pods. We don't have to go with the curriculum. We switch the programming on them, ladies
So
and
you're telling me
gentlemen.
you're not letting the government train your kids? How dare you? But that's awesome.
Shh, don't tell them.
That's awesome. You don't want that to happen at all. You don't want the government to train your kids.
The government failed on everything, actually. So we are not liable to the government's failures. The government is liable to their own failures, and we are not supposed to be compliant just because And by the way, there are servants, every single one of you. Government officials are our servants.
Yeah,
They
civil
are,
servants.
yes, they are elected, and they swore an oath to protect their constituents and represent their constituents. Thus far, these officials have done exact opposite, and they've actually gone rogue And I would even classify it as high treason because if you're going to defraud the people who you came and said you're going to represent,
Mm-hmm.
and you absolutely do not do that, um, we're not liable to you any longer. And this is why I urge everybody to participate in politics. Don't be afraid of it. It's there. It's there already, and it's being used by people who are not you, everyone. Sorry, it's not political. This is a matter of life.
Yeah, we just spin that back to compassion.
Yeah.
Just be compassionate for other people. If you really want to help people,
Yes.
go in there and make a change. And don't go in there with anger. Don't bitch. Don't complain. Go in there with a place of love and just try to just definitely just go out of your way. Try to help other people. Albert Einstein said it best. They're like, you cannot solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that it was originated from. You have to rise above it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to rise above it. Like if someone cuts you off, you can't get mad at them. Just let it go. Or if someone's like you have a problem with someone, don't get into altercation. Just try to change yourself. Just breathe and just say, "Hey, what's going on?" And just be like, "How can I help this person?"
Yes.
And ultimately, somehow the universe answers you. Ends up working out.
So I believe in actually taking action when you see a problem.
Yeah, you
Uh,
should take action. But how do you take the action? Do you
okay.
take it with rage and anger, or do you just go at it from a peaceful perspective?
It depends on the situation because rage and peace are one of the same, one in the same. They are on the opposite sides of the spectrum,
Yeah,
and everything in between is fair game, to be honest with you. But um, it really depends on the effectiveness of the rage or the peace. If you're in a situation where rage is needed to stop a situation, because sometimes that it's needed, it's needed.
that's why I carry pepper spray. Really, I do. Like, I mean, in Utah, it's open carry,
Yeah.
so I have a gun at home, and I can literally carry that gun. It's a 45, and I don't need a license. And if something happens, I can pull it out and shoot someone, protect myself. But I carry pepper spray
Yeah.
because the worst thing I want to do is just de-escalate the situation.
Sure.
So I just spray them in nice. Yeah, I mean, it's happened once or twice. We've been out with my friends. People are
Okay.
intoxicated. I'm the sober one. People are trying to start a fight. Just pull it out. Just spray them in eyes for 10 minutes.
They're out.
They're
Yeah.
crying, but they're back to normal. So yeah, I mean, it didn't come from rage, but I had to de-escalate the situation.
Okay, but you had to take a manner that was less peaceful.
Yeah, it was way less peaceful.
Yeah. So, but you
Yeah,
had to.
yeah, but it was like I would say it's the lesser of two evils. But it's
Wait.
still. But I had to de-escalate the situation. I don't want anyone to get hurt. But that guy didn't get hurt either. After 15 minutes, he was fine. He was
So,
probably in pain for a while, but
so when you said lesser of two evils, I want to challenge that statement. Um, we need to destroy the evil. We should not allow any evil, whether it be lesser than the next evil. All evil must be destroyed at sight. And that is why rage is just as important as peace. Because if you don't have rage against the machine or the evil, it'll continue to carry on its ways because there's nothing in its path stopping it, and it's not going to be peace because they run over
yeah,
they run
yeah.
over the peaceful ones. Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, Jesus,
Mal-
name them.
Malcolm
Malcolm
X.
X,
Yeah,
name them.
yeah,
And so, and I'm not saying anarchy is the way either because there's so many innocent people in the middle of it all.
yeah. Of course.
But I am saying not, don't be so quick to fold and lay over.
Let's do this a little bit.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Yeah. All right. You good?
Yes, sorry. I
Yeah,
knocked it
yeah.
down a few
Definitely
times.
not. Always be persistent. Malcolm X had a popular saying that said, "The future belongs to those who prepare for it today."
Yeah,
So always be persistent. Don't fold.
don't
Oh,
fold.
don't. Yeah, I like that saying a lot. Don't ever fold. Just give it 110%. I like to be more of a. I don't want to say pacifist, but just have control over your emotions. Here's the thing. People can piss you off all they want,
Yeah.
but it's the way you react to that situation.
Yes.
I could have gone into a fight, but I just chose like to just pepper spray the guy, de-escalate the situation. And my friends were just laughing. I was like, "Dude, we're about to get into a serious fight now. You're
Yeah.
laughing." And it's just kind
Yeah,
of
because
funny.
it's like the unlikely thing that
It's
people
like,
do.
yeah, yeah, it is. But here's the thing, like, I don't
But look
want
at
to.
how many lives you saved
Yeah,
by
yeah.
doing that.
Seriously, what if that guy had a gun or a knife and he stabbed my friend? And which is a very likely possibility.
Going to jail is not a fun thing either. Yeah, just being disabled.
Yeah.
A guy in Glendale got like I don't know how many years, but he punched a guy in the face. The guy fell backwards, hit his head on the curb, and died. And he got involuntary or I don't know what the charge was, but he's sitting in jail. And he was protecting himself because the other guy was belligerent and drunk, and even his homies, the guy who died, said, "Yeah, that guy was belligerent and drunk."
That's just a system.
It's just the system. So
That's
you
wrong.
fall into the system, even
Yeah.
as an innocent person protecting yourself, you're not safe. So yeah, yeah, if you have the opportunity to protect yourself
Do it.
with whatever means possible, you have to. So I go back to school, homeschooling, so I have to protect my child from the system that is currently in place because I don't adhere to it. So I put my son in a new system.
Good.
Sons, that is.
Good. Trust me,
Yeah.
they'll probably thank you in 10, 15 years.
Oh, they
They'll,
better
they'll be aware of it by then.
no, they're going to be aware of it today because I make it a point to adjust their awareness levels
Good.
regularly.
Good. Do you believe in the law of attraction or the law of vibration? Because I feel like
It's not belief. It is the law.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But I mean yeah, it is. It's there. But if you believe in it, it just works for you.
If you're aware to it.
Yeah, if you're aware of it, and I mean, if you're aware to it, you can read a book, you
Practice.
could be aware to it, but you kind of have to believe it too internally, yeah, or right?
Awareness and belief are again the same thing. Awareness, belief, but practice of those two things are what's going to actually attract
Yeah,
everything to you. The
yeah,
practice of it, and that could be both negative or positive
for sure.
attractions.
Which leads me back to that guy getting into a fight. If he truly practiced and like just not being in those situations, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure that thing wouldn't come to him. But maybe
100%.
something happened in his life. Maybe he's like a macho guy looking for fights and stuff like that, and
Macho
somehow,
indeed.
and those things probably came to him.
Yeah.
And the opportunity came, he punched the guy out.
He actually was a trained fighter as well, so that probably that probably led to the decision as
Hmm.
well because of the fact that he was a trained fighter, and trained fighters are considered
Lethal
lethal
weapons. Yeah,
weapons.
yeah, they're like lethal weapons. That
Yeah,
sucks, dude. That's a shitty
yeah.
situation to be in.
But that's a matter of decision, like you said. So maybe if he was more pacifist like you, he wouldn't feel the need. Pacifist, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
passive.
yeah,
He wouldn't feel the need to use his lethal weapons. He
yeah,
would use a pepper spray, but a pepper spray is not as macho as punching a
yeah.
guy
It's
in the
not.
face.
Yeah, but my ego's not in the equation at that point.
Exactly. But your ego's not in the equation.
I'm with my friends. I'm out. I care about my friends very much, and I don't want to hurt anyone else. So,
Yes.
what is the situation that is gonna best de-escalate everything? It would be just pepper
The
spraying someone.
pepper
And
spray.
you know what? For gifts, mainly for women, actually, I just buy them pepper spray. I'm like, dude, just carry on your keychain. If anything happens, just spray the shit out of everyone. Just walk away. That guy.
Nothing to see here, folks. Dun
That ends.
Pun intended.
Yeah, but the ego. What are your thoughts on the ego?
Oh, it's the most important uh, resource you can control.
Control. Yeah, because it works for you and against you.
Yes, exactly.
Can you give me an example? Maybe like coaching
Yes.
situation.
Uh, so, in order for you to practice containing your ego, you have to recognize where it's strong and where it's weak. If you're not aware of these things, okay, like I have a dominant personality and I let everybody know this about me, and maybe that's my toxic trait, but I'm aware of it. But also, my dominant personality can lead me to weaknesses that are not helpful for me. So if I'm dominant in like making a decision and I'm unaware to other perspectives, then if my perspective was not the least effective and their perspective was the most effective, and because of my ego I didn't open myself up to their perspective, then now I'm like backwards.
Yeah, you
I'm
take.
taking a step back because I could have just, you know, not let my ego lead that part of my life. Yeah, I'm already a leader, but I have to learn how to follow too, so that way I can better make decisions for myself. And so ego works for and against you. You need to learn how to use it so that way you're not being abused by your own ego.
Yeah, and I mean people do like psychedelics and stuff, or like bufo, that toad, and they're like, I want to.
Bufo? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
so
that
okay.
toad.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like DMT times
Yeah.
10.
Or you
Or
lick the toad?
yeah, or smoke it. You should
Oh
smoke it.
god.
Apparently, it's like you have the spiritual thing. They're like it's the death of the ego, but I don't think you could truly kill your ego.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, because it's there. Because think about it like this: it's also good for competition,
Yeah.
for healthy competition. Like
Yeah.
being a sports athlete, you're not really hurting anyone. You're just being competitive, and it's good.
Everyone's number one.
No, I don't believe that either.
I'm so sorry. That's what killed our competitive nature and ruined egos. It didn't help egos. It made
Yeah.
people soft and entitled
Yeah.
and felt like they're all winners everywhere they go.
Nah, that's not how it works. That's not
No,
how life works. Try to buy a house. Not everybody's equal. A
that
house is worth $1 million. Like, if you're not making 15, 20 grand a month, how you gonna support your family? I'm not saying do it by stealing from other people, but just be competitive, dude. Just wake up at 5 a.m.
but that's part of being competitive, and that's what people won't do. They'll stay up till 5 a.m. and like do some bullshit online.
Yeah.
You know, they'll stay up, but they won't wake up to go do something positive for themselves, progressive.
Yeah, progressive. I would say do those things. I'm sure you could definitely help people, but even with me, just compound doing the little things
Mm-hmm.
every day consistently,
Mm-hmm.
even though they're boring, just adds up over time. Your
Yes.
bank account goes way higher. Your health gets a lot better. Dude, I'm traveling like 3, 4 months out of the year, and I'm buying a house,
Yeah.
and like
Amazing.
then yeah, then that stuff is throwing me. But here's the thing: I also don't care about like nice things as far as like materialistic objects.
No, of course you care about nice things. You don't care about brands
Yeah,
and
yeah,
falling into the
yeah,
corporate
yeah,
abyss.
yeah. But I like the experience of
Yeah,
things.
but that's
Like,
the nice thing.
yeah, that is a nice thing in life. It's really nice.
Yeah,
It's
going to 30 countries is nice.
Yeah, it is super nice, dude. I like it. I
Yeah.
want to go to more and just experience it. I want to see how the locals live life. And it costs money to do those things.
Sure.
It really does. Like, even just leaving your home and not working and
Mm-hmm.
doing those things costs money. But here's the thing: you want to drive a Mercedes Benz or you want to do that. Technically, you can have both. Um,
Depends on who's driving the Mercedes, you or your ego.
yeah, that's true. And why do
Yeah.
here's the thing: why do you need the Mercedes?
Do you need the
Nope,
Mercedes?
I drive a Toyota Prius.
No. Yeah.
I get 50 miles a gallon. I love it.
Look, I have a Kia and I have a Cadillac, and they're both cars.
Yeah,
They're they're both taking me to point A to point B, and yeah, it's nice to drive the Cadillac, but it doesn't define anything. Like today's the Cadillac, tomorrow's going to be something else because this is just the thing that I'm using.
hmm,
And so it does not define me. I will
good.
never allow these things to define me, just like how you won't. But you want your travel to
Yeah,
define you. And that's your personal identity, you know? Your personal identity is set on being a world traveler.
yeah, I like that
You
stuff.
you want to be worldly,
I
you
do,
know?
I do, I do. And you know what? It's helped me cure ignorance. Like when I see
Okay.
different cultures, like hey, Muslim people are this, they're that, and then I go to these Muslim countries like Morocco or Egypt. I'm like, dude, these people are like the nicest people in the world.
They are.
Yeah, they
They've been
are.
villainized.
They have, dude. But like the media
Yeah.
has said all those things, and then you go to like Dubai, and then not so much Dubai, but like these other countries, and you're like, dude, these people are just super nice. They're
Mhm.
like they're very family oriented, and they care about each other. They're not terrorists. Like they even frown upon that stuff. They're like, dude, like the Quran and our beliefs like frown upon that stuff. You're about helping people. You're not even supposed to step on a bud.
Yes.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, they didn't teach me this when I was a kid. I was like, they just taught me
They
like,
get the fanatics of every
yeah,
group who are
yeah,
probably even threatened into it. Come and blow yourself up or watch your family explode. I don't know. Like, can you imagine people being told that in poor
yeah,
countries?
or being pushed to a corner.
Yeah, being pushed to a corner. I don't blame anybody for how everything is because our world leaders have failed us miserably.
Yeah, yeah, that, yeah, yeah. But I think we should take upon ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
they're representative of the countries,
Yeah, yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Even in our home country,
Yeah.
Armenia, there's
Yeah.
like war.
Yeah.
Even planet Earth, dude, has abundance of everything for everyone. Like, there's no reason for them to take over Armenia. There's like nothing going on there, dude.
That's
Like we
not
don't.
true.
I mean, there's a lot going on there, but like as in like we're not like super rich on minerals and oils. Yeah, I know there's a Silk Road they want to put through there, but it's like a small country, dude. It's like they just want to annihilate us.
We are in the new Pakistan.
But we are the new Pakistan,
Yeah, like think about how Pakistan. No, I'm sorry, it's not Pakistan.
Afghanistan.
No, no. Uh, yeah.
What?
What was the country with Israel that they had the
Oh,
fight?
Palestine.
Palestine. Shit,
Palestine. Yeah,
Palestine,
Palestine.
not
Yeah, yeah, we are.
Pakistan.
Yeah, we
We're the
are.
new Palestine.
Yeah, we want to live coexist together. Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
No, they're gonna
Yeah.
they're taking territories,
Mhm.
and no one's covering it. We have to talk about it on like lives.
Yeah, we have to talk about. I mean, but thank God there's the internet and
Yeah,
people like you and I can actually talk about these things.
yeah. Oh, unless you're Nar smart and they
Oh
block
yeah,
you.
they blocked you, dude.
Yeah.
That sucks. Like, by the way, Coach Nar, she talks about just real facts and real events. Honestly, like I get my news from you and like Joe Rogan.
Oh my God, I love that so much. I'm gonna tag Joe Rogan in this clip.
Cause I don't pay attention to the
I
news, but
love
I
it.
do like follow you on Instagram and stuff like that, and I'm like, dude, what the hell is going on? Cause I don't want to listen to the news; it's all
Yeah,
negative shit.
yeah,
But like every so often, I look at yours, and then I read something about COVID and how it's really bad. I mean, I'm not vaccinated, so
yeah. Neither
and
am I.
yeah, and
We
then I saw
survived
something
it.
on you, and I sent it to a bunch of people, and then they're like, yeah, those people are stupid to get vaccinated.
And it's sad because now the narrative has changed. For all those of you who went and got the V shot, um, you did it because you thought you were doing the right thing. And now the
Nope,
narrative has switched on you
nope.
guys.
Hey, you know what's the worst part? Since I'm not vaccinated, dude. Since I'm in like a different state, like when I go on dates and I tell people I'm not vaccinated, the date just ends there.
What?
Yeah,
I thought they would probably be putting you in like a
no,
bank or something and like,
no.
because you
They're
have
like,
pure blood.
no, like they're like, oh yeah, yeah. I don't think this is gonna work out. And like on Tinder and other places, dating apps, like now there's a choice. Not even a choice. You just have to put I'm vaccinated or not vaccinated, and it'll show up. And people just want to avoid you if you're not vaccinated. So, but here's the thing: I've
OMFG.
gone out with girls like multiple times, like 6, 7 times, and like build a rapport, And then like that topic comes up after a while because it's like I don't like the fact that it's put into like politics, but it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm not vaccinated. And they just get worded out. They're like, what do you mean? What if something happens? I'm like, well, let's look at the logic of this. You got vaccinated so you could protect yourself, right? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so you're fine.
But
So
that doesn't work. Don't you understand?
I mean, yeah, I understand, but from their perspective, it's so they're protected. So if something happens to me, nothing's gonna happen to them.
They look that perspective, they don't even believe that perspective either. They just don't like the fact that they went and did it and you're not doing it. And so now,
I'm the enemy.
you're the problem.
Yeah, but I'm not the
You're
problem. I work
you're
from home.
challenging their identity.
I challenge the status quo.
Yes.
I just, you know what it was? It was just a release too much, and there was no data. And I was like, hey, you know what? I could just do without this. And I told myself, I'm not gonna get sick. And guess
Yeah.
what? I just haven't gotten sick.
That's the power of attraction.
Power of attraction, just a power of belief, and also, I just do all those other things. Like I stay healthy. I don't really eat sugar
Hmm.
too much. I don't drink. I exercise 5, 6 times a week. I get a lot of sunlight. All the stuff that they didn't tell you on the news
That
that you
they
should have
told you
done.
not to do. They said don't go to the gym. They said that a hairdresser could go to the doctor, but the doctor couldn't go to the hairdresser. How much sense did that make?
Not very much.
They killed everyone
Yeah.
in more ways than one.
But I truly believe with the power of thought, you can actually just get rid of certain diseases. A lot of diseases, actually, pretty much all of them.
I got rid of my enlarged liver
Tell me about that. Tell me about that. Please share it.
just because the liver is an emotional organ. The liver is an emotional organ, and this was like a lot of stuff was going on in my life. Um, from divorce and father's cancer, and having to raise two kids on just your income, new income, and working and in a new field.
Guy, there's a lot of stress. There's a
A
lot of
lot,
factors in
yeah,
your life,
yeah. So just I went through the ayahuasca experience, 3 nights for 3 nights.
which reprograms your brain
Uh,
and mind.
it actually dismantled limiting beliefs.
So it cuts certain strings.
Not even cut, like it dismantled it. Everything that I knew to be true was in fact challenged, and everything that I knew to be true was confirmed that it was. And so the vision was clear, the everything just came together. Everything that I knew and didn't know came together, and whatever was unnecessary fell off,
Hmm.
and I just simply understood. I just understood. I understood at that moment what I knew, and I took the reins and I ran with that. I wasn't worried about what I didn't know anymore. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah,
I knew what I knew, and I was gonna develop upon that.
good.
And so, I did try. I experienced the journey for 3 nights, and it's not just it's not a psychedelic journey. It's a spiritual one.
Yeah, for sure.
I understood God after that. I wrote my book, The Boss of Me, 2 months after the
Nice.
journey. There's a lot of transformational experiences after being on a journey with mother. That's what ayahuasca is called,
And
mother.
and to me, you seem like you're more empathetic now and compassionate because I feel like instead of going to banking, because you said you had like certain economic or life choices to make,
Yeah,
you went to coaching people with their life and helping them.
for sure. Like when I started writing my book, I realized that that's what I'm supposed to be doing is sharing my experience and helping people understand theirs by being completely vulnerable with my experiences. Like you said, when you go to an event and you're not drinking, people aren't necessarily bothering you to drink anymore, right?
Nah, they're not.
Because they're going through an experience. But maybe they want to ask you, hey, what made you stop drinking? How did you do it? And they won't ask you that because they're afraid to. But if you put it out there
Yeah.
and they can have the opportunity to consume it without being in the light, I suppose, uh, then you must put it out there. You must make a show. You must write a book. You must create poetry. You must create art. You must invite people to share in your vulnerable moments. And vulnerability doesn't make you weak. It actually eliminates the weaknesses. Just like how Eminem went up there and talked shit about himself.
Yeah, no one could say anything
No
after
one.
that. Yeah, it's like my mom's a whore, this, that, my wife, this, that. What are you gonna say to him after that? You know?
Yeah, like what ammo do you? He like
Yeah,
dumped all the ammo out.
yeah.
So I ascribe to that philosophy of just let it out, and whatever is supposed to happen is gonna happen. Nobody's gonna use anything against you. That
Going back to your liver,
yeah.
share
Oh,
that story.
so when I wrote my book, I started going through emotional transformations. I started understanding certain
And
concepts.
you had a bad liver at this point.
I had like an enlarged liver. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Like fatty acids,
yeah, and
a
then
fatty liver, and
it was a
stuff like that.
fatty liver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's bad.
but I wasn't like eating anything. That
Were you
was
drinking a lot?
no, I wasn't drinking. I don't even like alcohol. Um, when you smoke, you don't necessarily drink.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not
yeah.
the
I was thinking that right now.
Yeah,
That's funny. I swear to God.
I
Yeah.
know you were thinking it,
Yeah, yeah.
but I'm the guy that says it.
Okay, or
So
girl.
whatever. It's
Yeah.
2022. They want to. I'm the guy. All
Yeah,
right,
cool.
challenge me on that.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's not that. So when I started experiencing my emotional transformations, my liver started shrinking. Of course, I was more conscientious about drinking more water, and I was more conscientious about drinking less coffee.
Mm.
And it just, you start changing things about yourself because you are now more aware of your vulnerability, such as my fatty liver. And I was at the ER actually that night for my fatty liver when I came across an ad to, hey, do you want to write a book? And I'm like, yeah, matter of fact, I do. Been wanting to write a book for the last God knows how many years, since I was in fourth grade. I actually would write short stories.
That's called synchronicities. It's not fucking coincidence.
No,
I
no
like. I
coincidence.
don't like it when people say that. Like I
No.
just want to slap them.
Yeah.
That and then you have a book 2 months later.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Or
what's the
I started
coincidence?
writing my book. So I went in August to the ayahuasca retreat and
The ER.
journey. Yeah, ER. And then I went to ER in October. And that's when I signed up to be part of this group that helped me write my book or
And then when did the
structured
book
it.
come out? December, January.
April
Okay.
2020 during COVID.
Okay.
So,
So it took like 6 months after
yeah,
that.
6 months.
Good. That's not a coincidence. That you
No.
wanted to write a book since you're in fourth grade.
Yeah.
That is called synchronicities. When you're vibing
Mm-hmm.
and you just want to attract certain things to you, and it just happens. The universe gives it to you.
Do
Like you
you?
could call it God, you could call it the force, you could call it oneness, you could call it anything you want. You could call it a midget if you want, whatever. Like bringing it to
Yeah.
you, but it's actually just
The
somehow,
medium.
yeah, somehow the ether and the universe, and there's a lot of science to back this up.
Yeah.
You bring that to you. Quantum mechanics is like the
Mm-hmm.
back door into magic. Because magic, at the end of the day, that's why I titled it. It's just magic is science we just don't understand yet.
Yes.
And then once you start understanding it, actually, you don't even have to understand it. You just have to believe that it can happen, and you will
Yes.
automatically attract those things to you. Like I write daily affirmations. The first
Okay.
thing I write is I am healthy, because above all else, I just want to be healthy.
Yes.
Because I could have the nicest car, $10 billion. If I'm not healthy, none of that stuff is important.
It's not.
And then I write I am lucky right after, because I just want to. Because I'm lucky. I am. Dude, good things happen to me. Bad things did not happen to me.
I love
And
that.
then I just keep writing it every single day when I wake up, go to sleep, and I just want to put it in my subconscious. And guess what? Certain things do happen to me. And it's like, dude, was it luck? Nah, I just brought it to me. Like, yeah, it is luck, but I'm lucky. So just,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I've even read articles where they do controlled groups where they tell people, hey, dude, this is a lucky thing. I'm going to put it right here. And there's a random selection. you might win this, you might not, and then they
Mm-hmm.
just spin it, and the person, if he actually believes it, and you tell them that they're lucky, then somehow it just comes to them.
Interesting.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's the
attraction.
attraction.
Yeah,
Quantum physics.
quantum physics. There's this thing called the slit experiments where
Mm-hmm.
they observe particles.
Oh yes, I've seen that.
Yeah,
The light.
yeah. So they have two slits.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps going one way by itself. Once you start observing it, it can go either way. But once you're like, hey, let's see if it goes that way, it starts going that way. So
So you move it.
yeah,
Is what you're
literally,
saying.
it's like the Jedi
Yeah.
powers. You're literally moving it with your mind. They don't know how it works, but they've tried it thousands of times in multiple countries, and it works the same way. And it will not work unless you observe it.
Observation is key,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. But that's the same thing with yourself.
Yeah, that's observation is
Yeah,
key.
like you said.
Introspection is key.
Yeah. Well, so if someone has a problem, what do you think the first step is?
The first step is they've realized that they have a problem. And it's yeah, it's the one AA's first step is admitting you have a problem.
Yeah, I've never been to AA, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, I looked
It's the
into it.
philosophy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because I didn't know like about spirituality and all this other stuff, but it was just like, dude, I just don't want to drink. I wasn't drinking every day, but even like drinking on the weekends, I saw a lot of people like family, friends that were
Mm-hmm.
just like drinking and doing stupid shit. I'm like, dude, this is bad. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be like this, you know? And then I just stopped. That's it.
So
You wanna,
you observed behavior that was unattractive or that turned you off, actually.
yeah, a lot. Actually, what happened
What
is,
was it?
dude,
The behavior.
I was in Cancun and I stayed in hostels a lot because I travel and I saw these people that came and they were like fucking trashed, like passed out in the hotel lobby or the Airbnb. And then when I was at events like family events and stuff like that, or like family friends, and I saw people like getting into fights when they're drunk, intoxicated, I was like, dude, I don't want to be a part of this
Yeah.
system at all. Like, this is wrong. I don't want to be a part of it, and I just cut it from my life. And even with spirits, actually, alcohol is a spirit. There's a reason they
Mm-hmm.
call it spirit because they're like, apparently when you're very intoxicated, you're somehow being possessed because you open yourself up to certain
Yes.
things, and then this is, I mean, I don't know how factual it is, but like demons come inside of you. Like when you're at a family
Because you're
event,
numb,
yeah,
unaware.
yeah, you're unaware.
You're an unaware entity that's
Yeah,
open to any
yep.
energy.
That's why when you're at a family event and you see people like drinking, and you're like this really nice guy, he gets really intoxicated, just starts like starting fights. Like, what got into him?
I agree.
That's the key. What got into him? Something got into him.
I
Some,
actually, there's an energy, you're absolutely right. There's an energy about alcohol that is only in alcohol.
yeah, it's not in weed.
Yeah,
It's
it's
in
not,
alcohol. There's a reason they call it spirits.
yeah.
So
Because it blocks your spirit, it numbs it. I promise you.
there's something. I don't know exactly what it is. And I mean, I've looked into it. I've talked to a lot of people, but somehow it does something where, like, when you drink too much, like when people are like, something got into this guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a saying. There's a reason why they say it.
I
Something got
agree.
into him. Like, what got into him? Like, what got into something from the outside got into him because he wasn't
Alcohol
himself.
got into
Yeah,
him.
yeah. No, well, when he was on alcohol. Something like
Yeah, no.
I don't want to go like supernatural, but that's what it points to.
What if the supernatural is not necessarily something that gets in, but is already within and it gets activated?
Like your subconscious,
Yeah,
or maybe something's already inside of him,
yeah, it's
and
already
his
in.
conscious mind is not like active, so
Yes.
something got inside of him.
So
But
the conscious mind is blocked by the alcohol, which allows the subconscious mind to
mm,
come forward. Because like there's people that drink and they just like laffy taffy,
yeah,
they're fun and they dance and then they just pass out and they wake
I
up
want to
with
party with those
yeah,
people.
those are the partiers.
Yeah,
And then there's people who get angry and then there's people who
yeah,
like want to have sex and then there's people who I don't know, there's what are the anger, love,
there's
happiness and
sadness.
sadness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And so whatever's already within you, that's what's going to be exposed.
yeah. And the thing is, 95% of what you do is on the subconscious level.
Yeah.
That's scientifically proven too. It's only like 5% on a conscious level.
Dang.
That's why I highly recommend people meditate. Because what happens is there's that gap between the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, and you're just bridging the gap.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you meditate, you go within.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. That's what meditation really means. You just go
Introspection.
within. Yeah, and you could actually reprogram yourself.
Yes.
Um,
It's like those wires on those boards, like you take the
yeah,
wires
yeah,
out and like
yeah,
that's literally reprogramming what you're doing
yeah.
to
If you go
yourself.
really, really, really in, which psychedelics help you out with, you can definitely just complete change it from 0 to 100. But when you're meditating, it's a little slower process because it's a slow burn, but you can
Mm-hmm.
still do it.
I think that if you use psychedelics irresponsibly, you're not going to ever tap into the motherboard. You're just going to run around in circles still,
Yeah,
because there's a special aspect of using, for example, ayahuasca
yeah,
uh, by with your friends or with a shaman. You know, like
yeah.
I don't recommend it with your friends.
I don't recommend it with your friends. You have to be. Here's the funny thing. When I was in Peru,
Yeah,
I wanted to sit through these ceremonies, not do it,
yeah,
and I was in the heart of the Amazon jungle where it's from.
yeah.
Like literally, I hiked hours and hours, took a boat, like completely out of my way, and like I was like paying these people. I was like, let me just sit through it. I'm not even gonna do your stuff. They're like, no. They're like, we don't want you in our space because you're not on the same vibrational level
Mm-hmm.
when you're not on
Mm-hmm.
it.
They won't
And
let.
and I talked to 3 different people, and I tried to pay them extra. I'm like, I just want to see what's going on with these people, and they're like, no, we're not gonna let you in.
It's not for observation of others. It's self
Yeah, yeah.
observation.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that are there. They're there for like pain, suffering,
Yeah.
childhood trauma, depression, sadness. Dude, I would just talk to these people, and next day they're like complete different people. Like, what the hell just happened to you? They're like, I just feel uplifted.
Tell us about the cancer patient that you were talking about.
So one of these meditation retreats I went to, which is pretty expensive. I was sitting down by myself having lunch, and this guy sat next to me, and I'm just talking to him. I'm like, "What do you think of the meditation retreat?" And he's like, "I'm not here for that." I'm like, "What are you here for, bro?" He's like, "I'm here for my brother." I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"Why are you even here for your brother? Why'd you come out of your way from Canada?" He's like, "Oh, my brother has stage 4 cancer. He just got chemo, and they said we're giving up on you. You have less than 6 months to live."
Wow.
And I had to help him out of the airplane. He couldn't even come. So I do this guy barely walks in, like skinny, his face is thin. I was like, dear God, just take him peacefully. You could tell he's in
Yeah,
pain.
yeah, yeah.
There's no hope. I keep in contact with him and his brother.
But is it from the chemo or the cancer?
It's probably from both.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
killing him one way or another.
Yeah.
The doctors and what he believed in is killing him. And then I kept in contact with him, and during the week I was keeping an eye on this guy. He was just getting a little better and better. His mood was changing, you know,
Mm.
because that happiness
Mm-hmm.
triggers onto other people. So there's like a
Yes.
1,500 people there. So
Yes.
he kept doing it. He kept working on himself. He was meditating for like 12 hours a day. I called his brother like 6 weeks later, and I'm like, "Hey man, what's up? How's your brother doing? How's his cancer?" He's like, "What cancer?" I was like, "What?" FaceTime me, FaceTime me. They FaceTime me. I saw his brother. He gained 20 pounds. He's healthy, complete changed person.
I.
6 weeks.
Wow.
I saw it with my own eyes, and I still keep
Wow.
in contact with them. And then I'm like, "Dude, what happened?" He's like, "I took a cancer mark test. My cancer mark test is below average. Like mine's and yours will be average. That means we're just healthy.
Wow.
That he's is like super healthy now. He's like, I just told myself I'm healthy. I didn't even acknowledge the cancer, and
That
boom."
exists.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's.
I've seen it with numerous times. I've heard this story many, many times, but I've seen it with my own eyes once.
It's amazing.
And I'm like, what did you do? He's like, bro, I just meditated for hours and hours, just gratitude, and just told myself I'm healthy, and I am. I'm like, so what are you gonna do? He's like, oh, it's like I just put the ticket. I'm actually leaving today to go to Cuba with my girlfriend for a month and enjoy life. I was like, bro, have
I
fun.
love that.
Yeah.
I
Like when
love
you
that.
see it with your own eyes, that's it. It just changes everything. Your perspective shifts. Yeah. Shift your perspective.
And all it took was hit the idea. Okay, so he already knew he's at death's door.
Here's the thing.
There was no turning back. He
No,
thought.
there's no turning back.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: like me and you, we're pretty healthy.
Yeah.
If we want certain things, we work at it. But there's a lot of different factors that might sway us. When someone is on their deathbed,
Yes.
they will do. They just want one thing in life: to be healthy,
To live. Yeah.
to live. They just want to live, of course, and stay
Yeah.
healthy. So he did everything in his power with every fiber of his body to get healthy.
Yeah.
Clear intention with elevated emotion,
Yeah.
you just go to it,
Yeah.
or bring it to you. Actually, you bring it to you. You bring the future to the present tense.
Clear
Um,
intention
what an
with
elevated emotion.
elevated emotion.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the way how to manifest things.
Yes.
You have to have a clear intention. You have to see the goal right in front of your eyes, and you have to elevate your emotions. Like you have to feel yourself in there. Like if you want that Ferrari, you have to see yourself in the car.
Yeah.
Not just that, you have to see how it feels. You smell the rubber. You're driving it top down. You feel the breeze, and you concentrate on that emotion. Somehow it seeps into your subconscious mind, and you make less mistakes in life, and you make certain steps that brings you to that goal.
So I like that you said that because now you have a Ferrari in your mind and you cannot make the mistakes that you were making before. Otherwise, you won't get to that Ferrari. So you got to make different decisions. Exactly. So the Ferrari is just the goal, right? It's anything,
Yeah,
anything
anything.
that
It's just
you
an example.
want. Yeah, anything you want, and everything that you can have is here. Everything that you can do to get there is like in between. And of course, you make a decision that doesn't takes you further from the Ferrari. Uh, you're more conscious to it, and now you're not going to make the decision.
Right. Like you said, people sleep at 5 a.m. You're like, hey, maybe I should just sleep at noon. I could get up by 7, get the day done by 8 in
Yeah.
the morning. And then you start doing those things. But then just be wary of that because you can make that thing happen with the intention. But why do you want the Ferrari?
Why do you want the
Yeah.
Ferrari?
So maybe you just don't want the Ferrari. Maybe you're like, hey, I just want to have a successful life, raise my kids, and be
Hmm.
able to help people. What can I do? I can
But
write
that's
a
their
book.
Ferrari.
Yeah.
Like this is my
Yeah,
Ferrari.
exactly. Exactly.
I've been wanting this forever, and not because I couldn't have it. I just had to do the things that enabled me to this this final result.
Yeah.
And now I'm writing my second book, the Brain Droppings, Connecting the Thoughts, and it's going to be
Nice.
published October 20th.
Brain drop. It's connecting. I like it.
First of all, I honor George Carlin and his philosophies in life, and so he wrote a book called Brain Droppings. But I really like that title, and I'm going to make a series, and so I took it from George Carlin, Brain Droppings. I'm just giving the credit where the credit is due. But George Carlin also had the same similar idea, not similar. He put his thoughts, random thoughts in a book. And so I really like that concept. I put my random thoughts in a book, and it's called Connecting the Thoughts. So previous thoughts to why current thoughts exist.
Nice. Good. Do it.
It's
There's
more
not.
philosophy and poetry, but definitely has the coaching elements to it. Because I wanted to deliver the coaching perspectives, not by saying, "Oh, you gotta meditate, you gotta drink water, you gotta do that, you gotta do all of that."
They already know. Here, we're in the age of information.
Yeah,
You're not misinformed. You're
yeah,
uninformed, and you choose to be that way. You
yes,
choose to be. If you really want to be healthy, like honestly, we all know. You just
yeah,
Google that stuff. You drink water. You drink less sugar. We all know that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
If you
It's
choose,
boring already.
it's not just boring. If you don't do it, you really deep down inside know why you're not doing it.
Yeah,
You should acknowledge those things.
sure, exactly.
And if you don't really want to, or it's hard, just say, reach out to someone. Ask for a coach.
I definitely
Yeah.
agree to that. Yes, call Coach Nar.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
the way, I have a complimentary session available, and it's not going to be complimentary forever, but it's complimentary now because I want people to experience the coaching. And I also have a men's group and a
Nice.
women's group, coaching group that meets live and on Google Meet.
Nice.
So there's no excuse to not take
Yeah.
advantage unless you really don't. And by the way, our community, Armenian community, is the hardest to tap into when you want to tell them, hey, I can help you solve your problem. Or I don't have a problem.
Yeah, you got plenty of problems, bro. You just look at yourself in the mirror. If you want to be brutally honest with yourself, just get butt naked, go in front of your bathroom mirror, and turn on all the lights,
Yeah, and
and
stare
just
at
stare at
yourself.
yourself.
Yeah.
And all those things will come up, and you'll probably run out of the room.
Oh my God, that's exactly what people are avoiding.
Yeah, yeah, but getting drunk, just you have to confront those things, dude.
Yeah.
It's you, like it's you. It's not your car. Like I'm lazy, I don't want to wash it today. It's you, dude.
They know they're not lazy about their cars.
Yeah, but they're lazy about themselves. Like I
They're
don't get
lazy
it.
about themselves.
Okay, on the last note, there's people in pain, suffering, depression, sadness. I always ask people this question at the very end.
Mhm.
What advice would you give them, other than reaching out to you?
No, okay, of course. It exists.
Of course, yeah.
It's pain and suffering are inevitable. And the only difference that you can experience with the pain and suffering is how quickly you accept it and how quickly you process it. And the quickness is not necessarily a competition. It's not a competition how quickly you can do it, but the quicker you are able to process it, the less suffering you experience. And how do you process it? Like, how do you process the death of a child, for example? It might take some time, but the point is to process it.
Yeah.
It's like the hardest thing to talk about, honestly, as a parent. And I don't know if non-parents can ever relate, but I don't want to confront the idea of my child, prematurely dying.
Holy
But
shit.
so many
Yeah.
people's children prematurely die, and they never come out of that. And I don't know how you can tell someone to come out of that, but it's mostly because of the way they've been able to not process the trauma and have no support out of it, don't know how to get out of it. I don't know, choose to remain in it because now life is no longer important. But these are all things that we need to like have discussions about so we can heal our communities. Like, for example, all those mothers in Armenia who've lost their children
Yeah.
to drones, okay? 5,000, 6,000, and the number keeps rising, and mothers are just aging quickly. Their cells are dying. Like, you look at these women who
Yeah.
are crying over their sons' graves.
Yeah.
And so the suffering is real and it's immense. And what we can do is understand that we are suffering, and what we can just help others who are in that state some way, somehow, to process out of it quickly. It's that I can't. There's no easy way out of it. We have to have each other. We have to help each other, and we have to understand the pain and share the pain. Sometimes, share the pain. We ignore it by escaping.
Yeah.
But I think that if we just shared it, maybe it might dissipate quicker.
And just it could be something as simple as just smiling at that old man.
Yeah, yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
I mean, and definitely, like little things. I think we should all be a little more responsible. Just think about other people.
yeah.
Think of thy neighbor.
It's love thy neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Thank you. That was awesome.
Love
Coach
it.
Nar, your book, The Boss of Me. I'm definitely gonna read it by
Yes,
nodding that.
please.
I will post your info so people to buy it. I'll also post your website. It's actually very informative. Yeah, it's a lot of good
Thank
stuff.
you.
Yeah, thank you very much for jumping on my podcast.
Thank you
Please
for
add her.
being on mine.
Yeah, please add her on Instagram. Check.
Magic or Science,
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you.
Magic or Science podcast. You'll learn a lot of different things. He's
Yeah,
he's doing great stuff with
yeah.
the podcast. You're inviting a lot of
A lot
smart
of different people. There's a
individuals.
lot of professors, quantum physicists,
Yeah,
neurobiologists, psychologists, philosophers. There's also like witches from Mexico I have on.
I've
Literally, I
seen
went to
that. I
Mexico.
actually saw
Yeah,
that one.
I have like practitioners, Reiki healers. I
Yeah.
have a guy that's a college professor in physics, and he's a Reiki master.
Okay.
That's like interesting stuff, like different perspectives. And honestly, somehow or another, they all talked about the same thing.
Which is
Just love, compassion, help
yeah.
yourself, better yourself, be in the present moment. Just different
They
things.
must know something.
Yeah, they must all know something. Like all roads lead to the same path. We just have to kind of figure it out for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank
For
you again,
sure.
and just stay blessed.
Thank you.